You're not alone. If you need someone to talk to today, please contact Crisis Services Canada by either calling them at 1-833-456-4566 all hours of the day, or you can text them at 45645 at 4 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern Time. Remember, you're not alone, and Crisis Services Canada is here to help. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of the Prospect Show on ASTV Productions. I'm your host, Graeme Forsyth. This edition of the Prospect Show is brought to you by Caisse Financial Group, Pilot-Mound Hockey-Academy, and TOVI Hockey. In tonight's edition of the Prospect Show, I'm going to be joined by the fourth overall pick in the past WHL draft, the 2021 WHL draft, first overall pick, forward of the Saskatoon Blazers. It's his rookie year in the Saskatchewan Male AAA Hockey League. It's Roger McQueen, a guest that I've wanted to have on the show for a very long time, but we just haven't been able to make it work. We're making it work tonight. It's going to be great to have a chance to ask Roger about just the season he's been having. The playoffs his team is currently in right now, as they are in the semifinals against the Warman Wildcats. Game 2 of that series set to go on Wednesday. We're going to get into that. I'm going to ask Roger about that, as well as talking about just his experience getting drafted fourth overall to the Brandon Wheat Kings in the 2021 WHL draft. So sit back, relax, everybody. Enjoy this week's edition of the Prospect Show with number 20 of the Saskatoon Blazers in the Saskatchewan Male AAA Hockey League, Roger McQueen, here on the Prospect Show on ASTV.
Wow!
There he is, number 20 of the Saskatoon Blazers in the Saskatchewan Male AAA Hockey League, fourth overall selection in the first round of the 2021 WHL draft to the Brandon Wheat Kings, Roger McQueen. Roger, great to have you on the show here tonight, man. How are you doing on this Monday night?
Awesome, you?
Doing great. Actually, it's been a weird 3 days. I've been quarantining. I've been isolating myself, even though the rules don't say I have to isolate, but I've had COVID. But I'm doing better now. Great to have you on the show here tonight, man. Let's dive into just you. I mean, you were top 5 in points this season in the Saskatchewan Male AAA Hockey League. You led your team in points with 61 points and 41 games played. I mean, just talking about the success that you were able to have in the first season in this league for yourself at the age that you're playing at. I mean, for yourself, you must be happy with the successes you've had like that this past season.
Yeah, I thought it was mostly a lot to do with my coaches and peers that have helped me along the way. And my coaches here has really gave me a lot of opportunities to shine this year, and it's really helped.
Yeah, and you've had a chance to play with a lot of talent that got drafted into the WHL, the same draft that you went. You talk about the coaching staff as well. I mean, everyone has a choice of where they want to play at that next level in Saskatchewan, where, just the talent that this team had coming in, as well as the coaching staff, just a few of the reasons why you chose Saskatoon as that next place for your development.
I mostly chose it because I live here and I've grew up with the Blazers for a while now, like a couple of years. I was practicing with them, and I really liked all their coaching staff, and they're a very organized group.
Yeah, you, of course, from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, but just getting that opportunity to skate with the team even before signing with them. I mean, how huge was that for yourself to get some familiarity with this organization?
Yeah, I thought it was really big because then I could figure out what their systems were and how they ran the team, and thought to see if I could like it or not.
61 points and 41 games played, 24 goals, 37 assists. Of course, as mentioned, top 5 in the whole league in points. Just coming down to that, I mean, obviously a great offensive talent that you are, a big body out there. But talk about what type of player Roger McQueen is out there when he hits the ice.
I would say I'm a very skilled tall forward that plays with as much pace as possible and can get in the dirty areas to score.
You have a good playmaking ability, obviously, with 37 assists this year, more assists than goals. Talk about that playmaking ability, how it was able to help you out this season.
Yeah, I use it all the time. It's one of my strengths. And playing with Trey Wilkie is a very good scorer, so it's easy to give him the puck in right spot and he scores.
Of course, you're a big body out there for your age, Roger. Listed on the Saskatchewan Male AAA Hockey League website under your player page. You're listed at 6'4", 170 pounds. I don't know how accurate that is. Maybe you put on a bit more height, a bit more weight since they've put those in. But just talk about how it's been for yourself as the year has gone along, just getting used to playing, the game of hockey in your growing body.
The year started off slower as you had to get used to the league, whole different new pace and new size, playing with 18-year-olds. But as the year's gone on, it's got a lot better and a lot easier and more comfortable for me.
Talk about how nice it's been for yourself just to be able, in your draft year, especially leading up to the WHL draft that you got drafted in, to play in the high pressured situations that you were playing in, playing among the top line or the top two lines on your team, as well as the many situations you've been able to play with this season that the coaches have put you out in.
Yeah, I thought it really helped me for the draft to be able to play in high pressure situations and figure out what to do and how to handle it. And he's gave me, like I said, tons of opportunities to do that.
Talk about as the season has gone along, has there been something that maybe hasn't been the strongest in your past in your game that was stronger this season you found?
Yeah, I would say for sure my D zone and my face-offs have got a lot better this year. I've really focused on it because our coach really is factors in defense and face-off possession. So yeah.
Let's talk about the team a bit more here. Now diving into that aspect of things. This team finished 34-8-0-2 in the regular season, finishing just shy of first place, finishing in second place. Obviously, a lot of talent on this team, a well-coached team. But just talk about, the forwards first off on this team, how you boys were able to go out and do your jobs out there night in and night out.
I thought, yeah, all four of our lines played a huge role this year in our 34-8-0-2 record. But mostly it was just hard work ethic and skill just to put away goals and take games away.
Obviously, got to have that high end talent up front. But talk about how these forwards, you among the other forwards, have been able to help out the team defensively back there. Just being able to commit to those systems that your coach and staff has in place for you boys to execute in the D zone.
Yeah, for sure. You want to be always in the offense, but our coach really stresses for you to be back in our zone to help our defense out, and then defense creates offense, so it really works out.
I assume you had a chance to play power play time quite a bit this season.
Yeah.
Speak about just your role on the power play and just how the power play was for you when you were out there.
We ran a 1-3-1, so it was mostly I played flank side, and I shot a lot of pucks, passed them down low to the slot, and it was a great spot to score and to pass and facilitate.
So flank side, are we talking you were either on the right side or the left side, mainly on the part of the wall?
One-timer side. One-timer side mostly.
Okay, so you would be on your right side since you're
yeah.
You're a left-handed shot. Okay, gotcha. Talking about just for yourself here, Roger, you talk about your defensive game. Just talk about how you felt like your defensive game, you talk about how it improved, but has been able to improve this season with the defensive system that your coaching staff has out there for you.
Yeah, I thought it's really improved because we practice it way more than I ever have in my life during practices. So we really stress it, and it helps me out because I needed to work on my defensive and face-offs, and he's showed me quite a bit of tactics on face-offs, and it's really been working.
And for this team this season, obviously the power play, like you said, talking about the systems that you guys ran. But what about for the PK? How this PK looked for this team this season?
Yeah, like I said, we had a very good penalty kill in the hard-working group, so you could really send out any of our 12 forwards for the power play to get, or penalty kill to get it done, and it worked out really well. We ran a diamond, and it shifted very well, so yeah.
In the playoffs now, looking into that, this team so far hasn't lost in the playoffs. 4-0. You boys were able to take that first game against the Warman Wildcats 5-2. But talk about, what it's been like getting back to playing playoff hockey once again.
Yeah, I forgot quite a bit of playoff hockey. I haven't played it in a couple of years, 3 years since COVID cut our season short with the Stallions. But yeah, it's just a grind and it's way harder and amps everything up.
What was that like, first game in the playoffs going up against the Saskatoon Contacts at that time? What the atmosphere was like when you boys were at home in that game?
I thought it was awesome. I was super amped because it was against the Contacts and this team I'd really want to play against in the playoffs, and it was just awesome because it was first time playing playoffs for everyone in midget AAA, and yeah, it was just ecstatic.
For you boys, you were going up against a team obviously ranked lower than you boys, ranked 7th in the league, but had some notable players, most notably Berkeley Cadden, the #1 overall pick in the WHL draft that you went in back in 2021, as well as a goaltender that has gotten a lot of attention, and Chase Woodsky. Obviously, those two players had to play a factor for the Contacts if they wanted to win that series. But overall, just going up against players like that and this whole Saskatoon Contacts team, take me through that whole first round that led to you boys sweeping them 3-0.
Yeah, we really had to focus on Burke because he's very good and he can create offense if you're not watching him, and he can score on you whenever he wants. So we had to watch him, and their goalie was just put pucks on the net and get rebounds and shoot to score.
Talk about that first round. Obviously, you boys sweep the Contacts 3-0, 6-3 win in the first game, 5-2 win in the second game, and a 3-1 win in the third game. Talk about how you boys felt like that series kind of ramped you up for this upcoming series that you boys are playing in now against the Warman Wildcats.
Yeah, I thought it gave us a tons of motivation. We played a really good defensive game, not giving up only, I think, 6 goals during the whole series. So, and we didn't give up many shots. So I thought it was really good defensively, and that'll help us along the way against Warman because they're a very offensive team.
Yeah, playing against Warman now, the third place team in the league, finished place behind you guys in the standings. The season series was close. It was a 1-1-0-1 record, the last one being an OT win for you boys against them. 15 goals for you boys against them in those games to the 14 that they scored on you boys. So a very close set of matchups that you boys played against them this season. Being able to take that first game at home, game 1, 5-2. How huge was that for you boys just to get the series started on the right note against a very tough Warman Wildcats team?
Yeah, I thought it was really important for us to get that first one and get us going for the next couple games, and got us motivated to know that we can do this and hopefully take the next 2 from them.
You are leading the whole league in playoffs right now with 9 points in 4 games. You were able to score 2 big goals in that game 1 against Warman. How huge was that for yourself, just being able to come up clutch for your team in those big moments?
Yeah, it was a super important goal, and I was super pumped about it. It was a great pass from Raiden Zacharias and Trey Wilkie. And yeah, they play such a big part in my game, and it's great for our team to have those 2 goals.
So have you had a chance to play with those boys for most of the season on a line, or has this been something that's been adjusted as the season has gone along?
I have had a chance to play with Trey Wilkie most of the year, but Raiden was adjusted to our line mostly end of regular season, start of playoffs.
How nice has that been to have that acquisition, I guess not acquisition, but adding Raiden onto that line with you and Trey, who already obviously have very good chemistry, adding another piece to the line and a skilled forward in Raiden?
It was awesome. I was super pumped. He's such a great passer and creates so much offense with his mind and his brain, and he's a very good passer and scorer.
Game 2 coming up this Wednesday in Warman on the road. An important game for both teams in this series. Warman, of course, looking to even it up at 1 apiece. You boys trying to put a stranglehold on them in a way, trying to go up 2-0. What's been the the focus, the mindset, since that first game, getting ready and rested, prepared for this next game coming up, that important game 2 in Warman this upcoming Wednesday night?
Most of the words have been said that it's just going to be a grind, and we really just have to work harder, and it's whoever wants it more for the series, and that's who's going to get game 2.
Well, game 2 going on Wednesday night in Warman. Roger McQueen and the Saskatoon Blazers looking to put them in a 2-0 stranglehold in that series, as they'll be, if they are able to win that game, they'll be one game away from potentially making it to the finals, 2 games away at this point from winning and going to the finals for this year's Saskatchewan Male AAA Hockey League playoffs. But Roger, we're going to be right back with you after the commercial break to not talk about the Blazers at this point anymore, but talking about your selection going 4th overall in the 2021 WHL draft of the Brandon Wheat Kings. I'm joined by Roger McQueen, number 20, rookie forward of the Saskatoon Blazers in the Saskatchewan Male AAA Hockey League on this edition of the Prospect Show. Stick with me and Roger for more after this commercial break. Welcome back to the Prospect Show here on AS Productions. Joining me on this week's edition of the show, very excited to have him on. It's been great talking to him so far. It's Roger McQueen, number 20 of the Saskatoon Blazers in the Saskatchewan Male AAA Hockey League. And Roger, I got to ask you this question, man. I mean, you got a pretty cool last name, McQueen. I have never heard anyone with the last name McQueen. And one of my favorite animated movies, honestly, is Cars. Now, are you a big Roger McQueen fan? Got to ask that.
Yeah, I am. I love the last name, and I think it's great.
Yeah.
Super. Yeah, I get called it a lot, so it's awesome. But yeah,
you ever get the jokes like "ka-chow" or anything like that?
Yeah,
Right
I get those.
Right on. Well, you're a sensational talent here, Roger, and Brandon definitely recognizing that, taking you 4th overall in the WHL draft in 2021. You were their second pick of that first round. At that point, they ended up getting that pick from Moose Straw. But just take me through just that moment, getting drafted 4th overall to the Brandon Wheat Kings.
Yeah, I was with my parents and a couple of my friends and family at a restaurant in the morning, and it was just unbelievable. The emotions I had were nuts. It was just a great feeling, and so happy to go to Brandon. Great place.
Now, I was reading an article the Brandon's son did on you, and there was a bit of a story on draft day for yourself, something about your phone dying. Take us through that.
Oh, yeah, my phone did die. I was sitting at my table, so I had no idea, and my parents were at a different table, so I didn't know till about 10 minutes after my dad came over and told me. But yeah, so my phone was dead and no notifications, obviously, so yeah, I was blank.
How surreal was that feeling once you did get the notice, the notification that you got drafted into the top 5? I mean, with so much skill in this draft class alone, to be drafted 4th inside the top 5, that must have made it even more special for you. Just knowing that the hard work ended up paying off for you to get drafted that high.
Yeah, it was an unbelievable moment. I'll never forget it. And just to go to Brandon's great place. I've heard lots of great talents have came out to the NHL and gone far in hockey, and heard great about their coaches and everyone there. So yeah, I was super pumped and couldn't have wanted to go anywhere else.
Yeah, and you were saying, I heard you said, you were quoted saying that Brandon was your number 1 choice of a team that could draft you. Swift was up there on your list as well. But just go through, what it's been like being in contact with Brandon at this point, and have you had a chance to play any games with Brandon?
Yeah, I have had one chance to play a game in, I think it was a month and a bit ago. But yeah, it was great. The guys were awesome. Ended up getting a point, which was great shot from Chad Nychuk off a face-off. But yeah, guys were awesome. And yeah, I was up there for 5 nights, and they only got one game. But yeah, it was great.
Getting a point in your first WHL game, getting to spend 5 days with the team, getting to experience what the WHL has to offer, obviously in a small sample size. I mean, just sum up that experience for you, how huge that is for you at this point in your young hockey career.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a great experience for next year when I go up, hopefully. And maybe if we win the league and they're still playing, or if we lose out early, then I can go up there. And yeah, it was just a great experience to get going.
Take me back a bit, just before the draft. Obviously, a lot of hype leading up to it as it goes along. Obviously, there could be nerves within players of, where am I going to get drafted? Will I get drafted there or here? Just talk about, your experience, the process for you leading up to draft day at the WHL.
Yeah, it was super intense, and I was pretty scared to see where I was going to go, but I had to try to focus on, because we had a couple regular season games right before the draft and one on the draft day. So you kind of had to let loose and not think about it as much. And yeah, I think I did a great job of that and just not thinking about it and trying to play my game.
Obviously, you were with your parents on draft day. Your dad, Scott, has had a chance to play in the WHL himself, playing 88 games for Red Deer in Saskatoon, and then he moved on to play a 5-year CIS career with the University of Saskatchewan Huskies. He also played for the Saskatoon Blazers as well. So you're following in his footsteps in a way, getting drafted to the WHL now, playing with the Saskatoon Blazers. Who knows if you could play university hockey moving forward if you do choose to go that route. But just how nice is it to have someone in your family, your dad at that point, someone that's very important to you, knowing that you can lean on someone like that through his experiences that he's lived in his past life.
Yeah, he's helped me so much along the way, and it's great to have a guy because he's super smart when it comes to hockey and knows what's up and what I got to do to get better. So it's always nice to have your dad, especially as someone that you can trust, to know a lot about hockey and help you out all the time.
Brandon's director of player personnel, Chris Moulton, had some nice things to say about you, saying that you're a big body that does so many things well. Great hockey sense makes players around you better. You have that pro type of release, and you're not afraid to push back against older players. Just to get those kind words from the director of player personnel, Chris Moulton, of the team that you're hoping to, play with throughout your whole WHL career. And Brandon, must be special to hear those words.
Yeah, it was super nice to hear them. It's much appreciated and really boosted my confidence and made me feel really good about myself.
You've had a chance to sign your contract with Brandon at this point. Take me through that experience. Another surreal experience, I'm sure, when you put pen to paper at that point.
Yeah, I thought about it a lot, and it was for sure. I was signing it for sure, and it was a very exciting moment for my life, and I thought it was unbelievable. Yeah, just the emotions coming through that I was going to play there for the next hopefully 5 years, and yeah, it was great.
You were the first Blazer off the board in the draft, going fourth overall. Also going in the first round was Cole Paredon to Prince Albert, Tyson Buchkowski to Prince George at number 15, as well as Terrence Smith at number 20. And then there were more Blazers that went in the next rounds in that draft, the other rounds. Just how cool was it to see, just, not only for yourself to get drafted, but seeing your teammates getting rewarded and drafted to that next level, to the WHL.
Yeah, it was awesome. I'm super close with all of them, so it was great to talk about. They were all super pumped, and I was super happy for them, so it was just great.
And must be nice to be able to lean on these boys that you've become really close with this season. Maybe down the line when things may get tough at the junior level, just having, that support system around, knowing that they'll be going through the same things as well.
Yeah, it's gonna be great to have those guys to talk to, and they're such great guys, and they always help out, and they're always there for you.
Got to ask you, might be the last question I ask you here, Roger, but just in terms of, Brandon, they know what type of player they're getting on the ice, and you, right, the type of skill set you have offensively. Of course, you've said your defensive game has gotten better this year as well, but what type of player do you feel like Brandon is going to get off the ice from you, as well as the type of player you can be for them in the community there over in Brandon?
Oh, I love kids and love hanging out with them, and like giving back to the community and doing stuff for them because they're fans are everything and they're super important. So I'd love to give back to them and yeah, just have a good time with them.
How excited are you by potentially next year, if you are playing up with the club to experience just the city of Brandon, the fans, and just everything that comes with the WHL lifestyle?
I've heard so great about Brandon, and I went up there and it was awesome already. So I'm super pumped to go up there next year full time if I can. But yeah, super excited to play in the WHL and see what it holds for me.
What was the message from the coaching staff once they sent you back to play with Saskatoon in terms of what they saw from you in your first game and just what they'd like for you to maybe improve on heading into next year when camp comes?
They told me I did great, and they just wanted me to work hard and try to play through the middle of the ice a little more. But yeah, they just said great things, and it was really nice of them.
Well, it's going to be exciting to see how you'll do in your WHL career with Brandon here, Roger. Best of luck to you in that aspect of things in hockey, and best of luck to you and the boys here in the rest of the playoffs in this round against the Warman Wildcats and potentially beyond. Great to have you on the show again here tonight, man. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and until we speak again in the future, you take care, Roger.
Thank you.
Roger McQueen, number 20 of the Saskatoon Blazers, joined the show on this Monday night. We're going to let Roger go now. And yeah, great to finally be able to talk to Roger McQueen. A prospect, a player that I've wanted to talk to for a very long time. And I did make a mistake. So when we were talking about Roger, what side of the flank he plays on the power play, he meant the one-timer side. And I said he was a left-handed shot. He's actually a right-handed shot, so he would be playing on the left on his offside on the power play. But yeah, this is a guy that's a center as well. You'll see him taking a face-off draw in one of the clips I got coming up on this week's edition of Player Breakdown. Yes, the segment is back. Coming up next, I will be talking about Roger McQueen. Only got 3 clips to show. They're short clips, but it's going to be exciting to talk about the offensive talent, the creativity that this kid brings to the game of hockey when he's playing. You're watching the Prospect Show on ASTV Productions. Stick around for this week's edition, the return of Player Breakdown on Roger McQueen, number 20 of the Saskatoon Blazers AAA hockey team, after this commercial break.
Welcome to Pilot-Mound Hockey-Academy, your world-class academic and hockey training facility created to maximize each student's athletic and academic potential. Blackjack Stewart Arena, home of the Buffalo, is inside the 46,000 square foot complex, as well as a curling rink and other facilities. The students have a unique combination of successful, well-rounded education at Pilot-Mound Collegiate Institute and the professional hockey training in an encouraging community. The years of experience of on-ice coaching propel our students to the next level, both mentally and physically, in a professional environment.
Welcome back to the Prospect Show, everybody. Roger McQueen just joined me on this edition of the show. He's the only guest for tonight's episode. No MCN Sports Advising segment for this week's edition of the show. Hoping to have that return next week. But yeah, Roger McQueen, great to have him on the show. Like I've been saying, I think I've been saying this in some of my episodes as well when I've mentioned him leading up to this episode, of course, that I've wanted him on the show, finally got to make it work. And yeah, just a kid that seems very humble and another one of those hockey players that credits his teammates more than he credits himself, which is a given, with hockey players. very selfless and very talented as Roger McQueen is. And that is who I'm going to be talking about on this week's edition of Player Breakdown. It's the return of the segment, and I'm happy to have it back and happy to talk about this fantastic offensive talent in Roger McQueen. I mean, this is a guy that absolutely tore it up back when he was playing in Double-A. We'll pull up the stats here. I forgot to do this. But yeah, Roger McQueen, everybody. We can load up his stats from past years. You already know his stats this year: 61 points in the 41 games he played, which is just absolutely phenomenal. Top 5 in the whole league in points. An 06 player, 06 drafted player. Yeah. 06 born player, drafted 4th overall to the Brandon Wheat Kings. From Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. And yeah, just looking at his stats from years past with the Stallions, he had only 11 points in 31 games played back in 2018-19, but really picked it up with 87 points in 31 games played in his second year with the team. He also wore an A that year when he was the captain back in the very short season of 2020-2021. In 4 games played, he had put up 27 points in those 4 games, 9 goals, 18 assists. And yeah, of course, this year he put up 61 points in 41 games played. But looking at his stats, he's always put up more assists than goals. In 2019-2020, he put up 29 goals, 58 assists. And 2020-2021, which was last season, he put up 9 goals and 18 assists. And this season, of course, 24 goals and 37 assists in those games he played, 41 for 61 points. But yeah, I mean, for Roger McQueen, in this playoffs that he's playing in, he's been more of a goal scorer, 6 goals compared to the 3 assists he has for 9 points in those 4 games played so far. But yeah, when talking about Roger McQueen, I mean, this is a forward that is already at like 6'4", 170 pounds at least. I'm sure that's probably not even accurate. I'm sure he's still been growing. Maybe he hasn't, maybe he has. But yeah, this is a very tall kid for his age, a kid with 170 pounds on. And yeah, just going to be very interesting to see, what he'll be like once he reaches his peak potential, which will be interesting to see. But yeah, let's talk about it. I mean, this is a forward that attacks the zone at a high level, attacks the defense at a high level. He's creative, of course, a great playmaker. He sees the ice very well, and he creates space and angles to attack the net with drives and shots with his creativity. And his shot, it's quick. He can also change the angle on it as well to deceive the goaltender a bit. But let's dive into it now. Roger McQueen on this edition of Player Breakdown. We'll pull it up for you guys right here. And here we go. So these first 2 clips are from the playoff game from the 5-2 win that they had against Warman. The Blazers did. And you're going to see Roger here. He's right here, stick on the ice, ready to receive the pass, and loving the spacing that Roger has here, making himself available for his teammate for an outlet pass right before the blue line here, right past the red line, and coming to him, close to him, giving him good support for him to make this pass. And Roger receives it in stride. Roger now coming in. You're going to see him here, has it loaded up in the money spot. And what Roger has here is some options. So he can either make a pass across to one of his teammates coming in. Maybe he leaves a drop to the player on his team that just gave him a pass. But you're going to see Roger here. He has some space down that left side from his perspective that he's coming in. And he sees this defenseman. And right here, he's, has him in his peripheral vision. And he's looking with this move right here, with the option he's posing of potentially passing across. He freezes this defenseman. And what this opens up for Roger with that fake pass, the puck loaded up in the money spot, is that he has a chance to go through his legs, which he does. And this is what I'm talking about when he's able to create space for himself, creating angles to attack the defenders, attacks the zone at high speed. And you're going to see it on full display here. Roger able to make a move, catches the defender a step behind a bit because he was had him frozen in his skates a bit for a second there. didn't have his feet moving because Roger was posing as a threat to pass across. You see Roger here, he's able to make that move successfully, and then he has a bunch of space here to do some good work in tight on the goaltender, able to come through, strong push to his forehand, and he's able to tuck that into the net for a huge goal. Going to see another goal here. He gets behind the defense here, not too sure how he got the puck because it was kind of cut off. The play was fast there in the clip, but he's able to quick release it upstairs for his second goal of the game. Might have been his first, I'm not too sure. But this clip right here, this is from way back in the season in exhibition, and you're going to see Roger here. He ended up taking the draw. We'll play it back for you guys here. But Roger takes the draw, wins it to his defenseman. And you see here, Roger realizes the space here that he has, behind these two players here that are in the zone. He goes towards the boards as there's a bank pass, ends up getting it. And Roger coming in here, and he's posing as such a threat coming in that the defense, they're backing off, giving him respect. And what Roger's going to do here is he knows that he has a lot of space to potentially get a shot on net from high up in the zone. And what he's going to do here, I'm talking about changing angles. He does that with this shot. He drags in and changes the angle of his shot, creates a good shooting lane for himself on the goaltender, whips it past, and just it's that quick release, that ability to change the angle on the shot that Roger McQueen shows there. So Roger McQueen, I mean, this is his rookie season, playing against way older competition than he has before. He's a player that the Brandon Wheat Kings like a lot, of course, talking about his big size, his big body, and he can create so many things. Very creative player, a player that makes players around him better. And yeah, Roger McQueen, if he continues to develop like he is, this kid's going to be a problem at the next level, even at the young age that he is. So yeah, that's going to do it for this week's edition of Player Breakdown, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hoping to have the segment return again next week. Leave a like, a reaction if you are watching on Facebook. Also share this episode as well if you enjoyed Player Breakdown and just the episode in general. And yeah, be sure to leave a comment to give your thoughts on the clips that I showed tonight of Roger McQueen. And, let us know your thoughts down below of how you enjoyed Player Breakdown if you want. Always love to hear the constructive criticism that may come from the viewers, right? Always wanted to learn as an analyst, as that is what I act as here on Player Breakdown. But yeah, everybody, we're going to go to one more commercial break here in the show, and coming up after the commercial break, I'm going to close out the episode and sign off, giving some final words on this week's edition of the Prospect Show on ASTV Productions. Stick around for that after this commercial break. Oh, wrong commercial, folks. Here we go. Welcome back to the Prospect Show on ASTV Productions, everybody. Just got done breaking down Roger McQueen's game from those short 3 clips that I showed you on Player Breakdown. If you missed that part of the episode, obviously the episode's ending soon, but if we had more coverage, you'd have some more time to do this, and you still can. But now with our new media player on amateursports.tv or astvproductions.com, whichever one of those you type in, it'll bring you to the same place on our website. With our new media player, you can now rewind live broadcasts, whether they be TV shows or hockey games or even swim meets. swimming events that we've covered here on the network. You can now rewind live while the video is playing on our new media player. So check that out on our website if you haven't had a chance. Yeah, it's an exciting part that we've added into our shows here, into our broadcast, which is pretty cool. But yeah, it was super great getting to break down Roger McQueen tonight, as well as talking to him. Very bright young talent out of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Be sure to watch for him as the years go along, as he's going to be making some noise in the junior hockey ranks. Also, didn't get into some of the stuff that I wanted to ask him about, but we'll for sure be doing that when I have a chance to ask him next time about him playing World Juniors and stuff like that, his goals and dreams for that. But yeah, a kid that got drafted to the Brandon Wheat Kings 4th overall, their second pick and their last pick of the first round, landing him and Charlie Ellick. Very, very nice haul for them in the draft. In the 2021 WHL draft. But special thanks to Roger McQueen for coming on tonight's edition of the Prospect Show and being the guest. Special thanks to you for tuning in tonight. Yes, I'm pointing to you, the viewer. Always great when you're able to tune in. And yeah, also a special thanks to the sponsors of tonight's edition of the Prospect Show, as always. In Caisse Financial Group, Pilot-Mound Hockey-Academy, and TOVI Hockey. Of course, this will do it for tonight's edition of the Prospect Show, for this week's edition of this show. Coming up next week at 8 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Saskatchewan time, you can tune into an all-new edition of the Prospect Show here on the network, on ASTV, on our Facebook at ASTV Productions, on our Twitter at Amateur Sports TV, or on our website at amateursports.tv or astvproductions.com. Be sure to stay tuned for what the guest list will be for next week's episode, as that will be released sometime in the morning on Monday next week, on our Instagram at ASTV Productions, on our Facebook and our Twitter as well. So yeah, folks, it's been a blast as always here on the Prospect Show. I've been your host, Graeme Forsyth, giving you the salute and the peace out on this Monday night. Until next week on Monday night, everybody, when I see you again, have a wonderful rest of your Monday night tonight. Stay safe out there. Go outside and enjoy the nice weather, as spring seems like it's upon us, even though it isn't officially spring yet, but the snow continues to melt, at least here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, which is great. Great to always see that the seasons changing. But yeah, have a wonderful rest of your night tonight. Go out and enjoy that nice weather, like I said. If it is nice where you guys are at, maybe it's really cold, but stay safe as always. Have a wonderful rest of your week and a wonderful weekend as well. And from 7 days from today until next week on Monday night, everybody, I'll see you then. Take care, everybody. Peace out.